Hello everyone, this is Crota getting back to shoutcasting after a little bit of a short break for the Christmas holiday season. And we see Violet spawning as the red Zerg player at the 3 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have Millennium Tarson spawning as the sky blue Terran player here at the 11 o'clock position. So this is going to be Terran versus Zerg here on Antigua Shipyard. And based upon the positionings, this is probably the best positionings that a Terran player could hope for in a matchup versus Zerg. Now, the third base that a Zerg player would naturally take is a little bit too close to his opponent, especially with these destructible rocks here. And normally I would say that this is a map that really favors a lot of expansions and Zerg style of play. But because of the spawning positions, I believe Tarson should have a little bit of an easier time putting pressure and perhaps trying to execute any sort of maneuvers. The Overlord will, however, scout out Tarson in just a moment as this game does get underway. Now, we'll just have to wait and see what Violet goes for. Violet may try to go for either a hatchery first, an extractor, or a spawning pool first. I believe that's all the buildings that a Zerg player can build early on, so not much of a prediction there, I know. But all of them do have different implications and meanings. Now, by the looks of it, it looks like Violet will be going for a hatchery first. There's the drone already on his way down, or on her way down. I believe all workers are considered female. So we'll see what's going to happen here as Daisy the drone does grow up to be a hatchery. Yes, Daisy the drone and Stevie the SCV making a comeback after this holiday season. Now, Tarson is going for gas now, and an Overlord did spot the gas and now pulling away. He got all the information he really needed, knowing the spawning location of Tarson, and also knowing that his opponent did get an early gas as well, knowing that there's not going to be any sort of barracks play. As the SCV needs to build up a supply depot, will it build it in time? Yes, he does. The drone may try to get some damage onto this SCV here. The SCV is taking a bit of damage right now. The SCV is not moving, finally moving away back over here. It is down to 10 hit points. It is going to back off there for just a little bit of time as a Marine now shooting at that drone. Is it going to get off the final shots? It does not look like it. The drone able to scoot away. Nicely done as the drone now does return home. We do have the extractor and the spawning pool being placed down as well. It's going to be a little bit of time before we do get those queens though, as a Marine doing a trek all the way across the map. This is a little bit dangerous for that one Marine, as the Marine will be going up against a lot of drones in just a moment. As we now see, drones are being transferred over here to this expansion location. An Overlord, Marines now trying to shoot down this Overlord here, and a new Marine over here may get the Overlord as well. Violet needs to be very careful pulling away with this one Overlord here. A Marine over here, but that Overlord does have enough room in between these two bases and these two spawning locations to make sure that it does not get shot out of the sky. Overlords are in position as well, making sure to keep track of any possible entrances. Also wants to see what's going on outside his front door, as we see a command center being built by Tarson. The command center is being built straight up at the base. This isn't even a Reaper expansion. As you now see, this is a Reactor Hellion expansion here. So double Hellions will be trained. They're going to be able to easily torch those Zerglings. But with one Spine Crawler, the Spine Crawler and the help of a Queen should be able to handle those Hellions easily. If there was a double Reactor Hellion opening, though, I would say that Tarson does have an advantage, but since that is not the case, we'll see what does come of this, as Tarson may try to research Stim and Combat Shield, and then swap, or he may just swap and try to go for Siege Tanks with Siege Tech and Marines off of a Reactor. Hellions now making their way out, going to simply make their way all the way over across the ramp. There are going to be 4 Zerglings and 1 Spine Crawler, but the Hellions are going to make their way up just in time, and there's the Zerglings. The Zerglings getting torched. Only one of them gets taken down, as we now see the Spine Crawler is in position. It is rooted. By the time these 2 additional Hellions come in, those Zerglings are going to receive those Hellions like a net, trapping them, and then the Spine Crawler will do the majority of that damage. However, we also see a very aggressive play by Tarson. Tarson now going into a 3rd command center. He may lift off either into here or here, and this will give him a very strong economic advantage, utilizing the fact that he knows that his opponent cannot easily take a 3rd. Very, very nice mind trick here, as the Hellions are now just simply trying to keep track and make sure that none of those Zerglings are going to make their way out. Roaches will be coming out in just a moment, and this means that we need to see either some Marauders or some Siege Tanks. This may be upgraded to an Orbital Command in just a moment, as we are now going into the standard 3 racks play. There we go. There's another barracks being placed down. Stim pack about to be completed, as we are now going into a lot of Hellions. So 6 Hellions right now here. And is it going to be enough? The Overlord now being forced to pull all the way back. The Overlord looks like it will be able to fly away. It's going to get up onto that high ground, and the Marines are going to lose sight of it. Not quite sure. As the Hellions, trying to push their way up, and the Overlord at 55 hit points is going to stay alive. Upgrading to an orbital command here. We are seeing supply depots trying to wall off this location here, as the Marines are now finally backing off. Overlords now scurrying away, as well as we are teching into Banelings, but still no tech to tier 2, so those Roaches are going to be rather slow. A movement speed of 2.25 plus 6.67, yeah, so a little bit slower than a stimmed Marine, as those Roaches are now making their way out. The Hellions need to back off. The Roaches very, very slow, though, as the Hellions now going to reposition, perhaps get in some easy splash damage, as the Zerglings now try to bring up the rear. The Hellions are now going to try to perhaps catch some of those Zerglings out of position, as the Roaches are now over pushing, and now the Hellions are going to try to perhaps run straight into this group. What is going to be happening here, as they were going to have an engagement on both sides of the map? We do have SCVs and Marines. Tarson does not have that many units, as the Zerglings are going to get caught out of reinforcement, as we are getting 2 bunkers as well. The Zerglings and the Roaches don't want to engage, and this is a rather tricky situation. Violet with no way to look up onto that high ground. The Marines, SCVs, are they going to be on auto repair? No auto repair whatsoever, as Banelings now simply walking in, and Violet catching so many of these units out of position. Another Baneling bust is going to happen here. There's another supply depot going up. 5 Banelings taking down all the supply depots there, and that is a world of hurt. I believe Violet is going to take this game here. Beautifully played, as just transitioning all those units, and now Zerglings starting in the swarm, and now nicely done. Tarson going to try to use all of his SCVs and Hellions to finish off the Zerglings here, but the numbers and the worker kill count already up to 40, as Tarson now down to 20 food, and Violet showing that Zerg can do a 2-base push and do it very well. Going to take this victory here, as we are now down to 3 mules and no SCVs, 1 medevac, 2 medevac, not even having really that many units to heal, 2 Marines and 2 medevacs, each one with their own medevac there. And how is this all going to work out? We are still trying to train up even more Marines. There is 1 SCV down over here. Marines are trying to fight back, trying to get into a very nice walled location, making sure that they cannot get flanked. The Marines are trying to stim around, making sure that they have proper protection. But Tarson, I believe, is going to end up losing this matchup. Not much he can really do. More Marines are coming out. The Zerglings may get finished off, but the sea of Zerglings still running in. It is 2 command centers, 2 orbital commands versus 2 hatcheries, but we are going into a macro hatch as well. And I expect the GG to be coming in shortly. Violet knows that he doesn't need to overstay his welcome. He can now get a tech advantage. He can perhaps just try to get a lot of drone advantage as well. He has a much larger army, as the Zerglings are going to be forced to pull all the way back. Marines are being added as well, as we are now trying to call in more mules. SCVs are being added to this group, and Tarson trying to do a little bit of last-ditch effort here to just A for effort here, or E for effort in this matchup, but I don't think Tarson can really deal that much damage. There's 1 Spine Crawler. Banelings are already being added. There's a Queen in this group as well. The Banelings do not have movement speed, though. So we'll see how all of this works out here in just a moment. 1 Hellion keeping track of the high ground, knowing that nothing's going on over here. And this may be a straight-up drop. So yeah, it is going to be an elevator drop up onto the high ground. Violet is going to see this very easily, and now in comes some damage already. Zerglings are now trying to swarm in around the side, and now the Marines are just going to fall to the Banelings, and now all of those units, all they can really do is just drop back down, perhaps get a free Overlord here, but Violet has Overlords to spare right now, so there's not much that can be done. Violet now doesn't... Oh, he does see that the medevac is dropping down over here. What are these Marines going to do? The Marines are going to simply walk over, take down this Overlord here. Down it goes. Baneling's now trying to come in. And now in comes the Queens. The Queen's going to attempt to destroy this medevac here. but the Marines may catch this hatchery and take it down as it is being built. Zerglings are now once again swarming into the main base. There are 2 Marines. Zerglings are going to finish off a couple meals and a couple more Marines here. As what is Tarson doing? I'm not sure. In comes a new drop. The drop now coming in once more. There is 1 queen off over here. 34 Zerglings now being trained. Mutalisks now making their way over into the base. And the Mutalisks should be able to finish off all of these SCVs very quickly, as the Marines are now going after some drones. An A for effort there, but Tarson finally gives the GG as he loses game 1 here on Antigua Shipyard. Stay tuned for game 2. Apparently this is from the Zotac Cup. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.